Lori Ryan Daybell, also referred to as Lori Vallow Daybell, was born Lori Noreen Cox on June 26, 1973, in Loma Linda, California. In 1992, at the age of 19, she married high school boyfriend Nelson Yanes, but the marriage ended in divorce shortly afterwards. Around 2015, Lori became interested in Chad Daybell's Standing in Holy Places series of books. The Vallow family moved back to Arizona in 2016, and in the fall of 2018 Lori met Chad for the first time at a Preparing a People event. Chad claimed to Lori that they had been married in 7 previous lifetimes. They started communicating privately afterwards. After their initial meeting, Lori's husband went on a business trip, giving her the opportunity to hold a small overnight gathering at her home. Chad and Gib were among the attendees, with Chad captivating Lori and the group by sharing his unique religious beliefs. He claimed to have lived 31 different lives on different planets and categorized people as light or dark, based on their affiliation with Jesus Christ or Satan. Chad referred to Lori as an eternal being of 21 separate lives, 5 of which coincided with his own experiences on Earth. This belief system fascinated Lori, leading her to develop a strong attachment to Chad and his teachings. On December 5, 2018, Chad and Lori appeared together on the Preparing a People podcast episode, Time to Warrior Up. Chad later stayed at the Vallow residence in Arizona. Chad and Lori shared a well-documented obsession with certain Mormon-influenced apocalyptic beliefs, which Chad discussed in numerous books and podcasts. Melanie Boudreau, Lori's niece, reportedly shares these beliefs. According to a 2020 affidavit, Vallow's beliefs extended to a belief in zombies. Vallow and Daybell reportedly told close friend, Melanie Gibb, that they belonged to the Church of the Firstborn, a fundamentalist Mormon group that is often identified as a doomsday cult. By February 2019, according to Charles Vallow, Lori informed him that she no longer cared about him or J. She claimed to be the reincarnated wife of Joseph Smith and vanished for 58 days. The same month, Charles filed for divorce, citing threats to his life, as well as the theft of $35,000 from their joint bank accounts and his truck. He sought a protective order against Lori at the advice of his attorney. On July 11, 2019, Charles was shot and killed in Chandler, Arizona, by Lori's brother Alex Cox, who claimed self-defense. Cox alleged that he confronted Charles about abusing his sister and retrieved his gun in response to being struck with a bat. Police did not pursue the matter further, and Tylee and J. witnessed the incident. In June 2021, Lori was indicted for conspiracy to murder Charles. After Charles' death, his attorneys stated he had been primarily concerned for J's safety and well-being, as he needed a consistent routine due to his special needs. Charles was also concerned for Tylee, but he was unable to include her in the filings as she was not his biological daughter and thus he had no legal standing. He withdrew the petition 1 month later, saying he wanted to try to make the marriage work. On October 9, 2019, Tammy reported being shot in her driveway by a masked man, supposed to be the perpetrator was not identified. 10 days later, Tammy was found dead in her home, apparently from natural causes. Chad claimed that she had retired the previous night with a terrible cough and died in her sleep. Tammy's body was not autopsied initially due to Chad's refusal and the coroner's acceptance of his decision. However, 2 months later, Tammy's body was exhumed and examined. The autopsy results, completed by February 2021, were publicly revealed in April 2023 during Lori Vallow Daybell's trial. It was determined that Tammy Daybell had been asphyxiated by someone else. Shortly after, the Fremont County Prosecutor's Office announced they would be handling the case going forward. In a subsequent interview, one of Tammy and Chad's children, Emma, said that her family had not been contacted regarding the results of her mother's autopsy. Arrests and criminal charges. Edit: on February 20, 2020, Lori was arrested in Hawaii by the Kauai Police Department. She faced charges in Madison County, Idaho, including 2 felony counts of desertion and non-supportive dependent children, as well as 3 misdemeanors. Her bail was initially set at $5 million, but was later lowered to $1 million after being extradited back to Idaho. In May, Lori appeared in court in Rexburg to request a further reduction of her bail, which was denied. Multiple local bond companies were reportedly unwilling to work with her. On March the 24th, NBC News reported on documents showing that Chad and Lori became convinced that Tylee and J were possessed and had become zombies. On June the 9th, police found human remains buried in what was believed to be a pet cemetery at Chad's home during a search warrant. Chad was arrested later that day for obstruction or concealment of evidence, and later charged with felony murder. On June the 10th, the Woodcock and Ryan families confirmed that the human remains found on Chad's property were those of Tylee and J. This finding was officially confirmed by Rexburg police on June the 13th. On July the 2nd, prosecutors dropped 2 charges against Lori related to desertion and non-supportive dependent children, and instead charged her with obstruction or concealment of evidence regarding her children's remains. On July the 17th, in light of the 2 felony counts against Lori having been dropped, her bond was lowered by Madison County Judge Michelle Mallard. The bond was set at $50,000 for each charge, totaling $150,000. It was further noted that Chad would still need to post $1 million in Fremont County to be released from jail. A jury trial for the Madison County charges against Lori was set for January the 25th, 2021. On May the 25th, 2021, Chad and Lori were indicted on charges of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder and grand theft by deception for the deaths of Tylee, J, and Tammy. Lori was also charged with grand theft related to Social Security survivor benefits. Chad faced an insurance fraud charge related to a life insurance policy he had on Tammy Daybell, for which he was the beneficiary and received funds after her death. On May the 27th, 2021, Lori was found incompetent and unfit to stand trial, and her case was stayed. She has since been deemed competent to stand trial after mental health treatment. Incompetent and again competent. On May the 12th, 2023, Lori Vallow Daybell was found guilty of all criminal charges in a Boise, Idaho courtroom.
Thank you for watching the Lori Vallow murder trial and background. Please subscribe so we can bring more crime stories to you on this channel. Maybe this is a good time to hit the subscribe button below.